Hello everyone, welcome to another video and thanks for choosing my channel. Just to save us time, I went ahead and I made a mix of ultramarine blue and black, and with the filbert brush just dropped an indication of a mountain over here, like so. I have a sketch of a couple of trees here, maybe some trees over here. It's going to be a snow scene. Of course, you will see the list of colors over here and a photograph of a finished painting up there, so you know what we're gonna end up with. I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and do a simple sky using ultramarine blue and white, and then we're gonna move to the mountain and work on the mountain and the foreground. As I mentioned earlier, just went ahead with some mix of ultramarine blue and black, did the underpainting for the mountain, no big deal. Anybody can do this, right? Alright. I'm gonna make a mix of some of the ultramarine blue and white, maybe a lighter value of it. Okay. And I'm gonna come up here and drop indication of sky over here. So ultramarine blue makes a nice sky color, something like that. And I have pre-mixed the paint in this cup. Like so. And I'm just gonna go ahead, make a lighter mix of that color by adding more white, like so. And I'm gonna come over here and just blend the two together, make the sky a bit lighter in the horizon and a bit darker up there, like so. And just blend the two together. If you need to moisten your paint, you can spray a bit, but don't do this when your paint is tacky. Okay, you can do this when your paint is moist on the canvas, but when it's tacky, don't do that. And just like so, we ended up with a nice smooth finish, maybe a little more darker blue up there. Now I'm going to pick up some white. I'm going to put it on my palette. Some of that blue that we had. Clean my brush. I'm going to come up here and just indicate a few soft clouds, just like so. No big deal, nothing fancy. The sky color is still moist, it will blend, like so. Just move your brush on the canvas. Don't stay stagnant in one place. You could pick up a very soft blender brush and just tap the bottom of your clouds and blend it in, like so. Let's do another one up here. Very simple clouds, as I mentioned. Just go ahead and soften the bottom of this sky, maybe top one too. Just soften it, blend it in with the rest of the sky. Pick up some white and come up here and apply some highlights. And with the blender brush, we're just going to go ahead and soften that too, just like so. Maybe some of that sky blue for the bottom of this cloud. Like so, very soft clouds, blending in with the rest of the sky, catching some light up there. Here we go. Let's do some more highlights over here, shall we? Very easy. Painting clouds with acrylic doesn't have to be pain in the neck. Here we go. With a soft brush, just go ahead and blend it. And just go ahead, soften these clouds, just like so with the blender brush. And some more of that blue, maybe in the horizon, some softer clouds. Give the sky some perspective, like so. Maybe some white. As you move away from the foreground, that's the foreground, but the closer the sky is to you, to the distance, make your clouds more subtle and softer and smaller in size, so you can create some distance and perspective into your sky as well, like so. And this is now mostly dry brush technique. As I move my blender brush on the canvas, clouds will form automatically. Here we can highlight a bit more over here, like so. Super easy. It's unbelievable sky and clouds. Alright, so with our sky done and dry, I'm gonna go ahead and mix a lighter value of that blue, maybe some ultramarine blue and white, and we're going to go ahead and indicate a few impression of snow on the mountain. We're going to have the shadow side to the right, so I'm going to start up here. We're going to choose a very a color close to the sky, so we can push this mountain back, as you see. Gotta keep some of that dark. I'm gonna keep some of that dark, but mostly we're gonna drop the impression of snow on the mountain and just try to push it back way into the distance. And I'm just gonna I'm using different values of ultramarine blue and white. By changing the amount of white you add to your paint, you can get different values of that color. And by adding different amount of black, we can create different shades of a color. So keeping in mind to save some of that dark, I'm just gonna go ahead and paint impression of snow on this mountain. And slowly but surely move my way down here. If you lose all the dark, doesn't matter, you can make the same dark again and go ahead and work on your mountain again. It's not the end of the world. Some random shapes and stuff like that for this mountain. And some lighter blue for the highlighted side, like so. Just creating a soft transition here. Bringing some of that lighter color here. We are still at the mid-tone stage, so this will serve as a mid-tone. We can go ahead and apply final highlights later on. I'm gonna go ahead and get my large blender brush. I'm gonna apply some white directly onto the canvas at the bottom of the mountain. And I'm gonna go ahead and blend all these things together with the blender brush and create a very misty foothill for this mountain, just like so. And sometimes just tap like that. I'm gonna bring in more blue, just like so. Some of that blue. Some of that shadow color. Some of that highlight color, just like so. Bring all those colors in, and with the blender brush, just go ahead and tap and create some misty look into the mountain, just like so. And now I'm going to pick up some straight white and mixing it with my lighter value of the blue, but still very much lighter. Just going to come up here and apply a few highlights. Impression of snow, catching some light. Here we go. Just like so. Get the excess paint off of your brush. Pick up some of that blue, the mid-tone value. Just bring it here and blend it in into the misty area, like so. And we're going to create some highlights for this part as well. Just the tip of the mountain, maybe here as well. I'm gonna switch to my fan brush. I'm gonna make a darker value of that color. And I'm gonna come over here and just tap and create some impression of distant trees. I just want to be a bit darker so it will show on the camera. Maybe add a bit more black to it. And we're gonna come here just like so. Create some impression of distant looking trees. Just like so. I'm going to add some white to the base of these trees. And with my blender brush, just create some mist at the bottom of these trees as well. Like the mountain, same idea, like so. I'm going to pick up some more blue, a bit more black. Make a darker mix, a bit darker than that. Just going to come right here. We don't want to kill all that mist that we created. We're going to create a bit more texture this time. Maybe we can see a bit more of these trees. The more you tap on it, the softer they're going to get. So I'm just going to apply that color at the bottom of these trees, just like so. I'm going to pick up some of my white, just apply at the bottom of these trees like we did with those. And with the blender brush, just going to go ahead and create some mist at the bottom of these trees as well. And push them away. And very softly I'm going to just tap over here. You see how easy it is to create some misty look at the bottom of your trees. And you see this one, these guys are a bit darker, a bit more texture than the one in the back. Just tapping very softly over here. Just like so. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and switch to a 1-inch bristle brush. I'm gonna pick up some of my lighter version ultramarine blue, which is basically a mixture of ultramarine blue and white. I'm gonna add some of that ultramarine blue to it, make it a bit darker. And bristles are, as you see, fully loaded with paint. I'm going to come over here and create some background trees. These are also in the distance, more or less. Let's make it a bit darker so it won't show against the dark, against the sky. Yeah, something like that. And I hope I'm not blocking your view. Some distancy looking trees here. Maybe this outside edge is the concern. What you do down here doesn't matter. Just the tip of that brush, corner of that brush, just tap like that, like so, creating some impression of trees way in the distance. I'm gonna add a bit more white to the blue to that mix, and the bottom is gonna be a bit darker. You're gonna have a couple of big trees in here, which I'm gonna sketch later. But we had to do this part first in order to sketch those trees. And we're gonna go ahead and apply few to this side, maybe right here, maybe a bit darker here, just like so, creating some impression of trees this side. I'm just gonna bring that color all the way down here. And we're gonna continue this color since we have it, and create some land here. Maybe some black mixed with that color, create some gray, and just blend it into those trees in the background, like so. Maybe even a bit of white, like so. Just create a soft blend between the midground and the background. Here and there, I'm going to pick up some white on that brush, and I'm going to come over here. I'm just going to tap to the left side of these trees with the corner of that brush and create some impression of maybe snowy look. I'm going to switch to my fan brush. I'm going to pick up some of that white. And we're going to come up here and just tap a bit. Just like so. Just some indication of maybe this is snow on these trees, getting some light. If you feel like your trees are getting overexposed with highlight, just bring back some of that darker color, some of that blue, and work it into your trees like so. and some blue. Just gonna go re-indicate the shadow side for these trees in some areas, maybe here and there. And for down here, I'm just gonna use mostly blue. We're gonna keep it in the shadows. And we have two big trees covering this area anyways, so I'm gonna stop right here. I'm gonna let this dry. I'm gonna go ahead and re-sketch my trees, and I'm gonna bring you guys back for painting the trees and the foreground. I went ahead and I sketched my tree, and the reason I did that off camera is because the tree is going to be the focal point of the painting, so I needed a more detailed, sketch. And if I wanted to film that, I can guarantee half of you guys would be bored enough to X out and watch something else. It's really not much to it, you could sketch from a reference photo, or just use your imagination and sketch the twigs and branches and the limbs and stuff like that. So you could use this painting, for example, as a reference, or just walk around your neighborhood and take a picture of a beautiful tree that you see and paint that, sketch that and then paint that. That's entirely up to you. I'm gonna go ahead, put some raw sienna on my palette, some raw umber, and we're gonna work with black as well for the shadow side of the tree. So the light is coming this way. We're gonna go ahead and paint these trees. I'm gonna paint the tree in the foreground first, and we're gonna use that as a model. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up some raw umber, raw umber, yes, raw umber, and some black. And just like so, we're gonna go ahead and indicate the dark side of this tree first. Now, in my opinion, painting a tree really and trying to capture realism in a tree is really simple. Just you have to be patient and spend some time on it. If you want to paint a tree 1, 2, 3, it won't result in something great. You have to spend some time on it and drop some details in there. I'm going to bring some raw sienna and create the highlighted side as well. Now you could paint your entire tree with dark and then do this step. It's up to you. And these colors really look good against blue background. I often paint these trees. You've seen a couple of these paintings on my channel that I use this kind of technique with these trees. And the technique for painting these branches and limbs is fairly the same all over. So if I show you here, you know, same process can be repeated all over for all trees. Just gonna put some dark over here. And use some lighter value right here, just to be able to separate these two. And working back and forth with raw umber, sienna and black, getting a nice smooth blend. Now how much time you're going to spend on these trees, creating texture, creating details, will tell you, you know, how much realism you're going to achieve. Obviously we're not going to try to achieve realism here, but I just want to show you the technique I use. And you can work with this technique and perfect it yourself. Just like that. I'm going to bring all my colors at the same time and get a blend. I'm not going to bother applying my dark and then let it dry, apply my mid-tone. Mid-tone, highlight, dark, everything goes in at the same time. And we get some real-time blend, just like so. Yes, it involves some back and forth, but it really creates nice results. Right now I'm working with black, the shadow side over here. Immediately I'm gonna dab into my raw umber, which is my mid-tone. Then I'm gonna go ahead, pick up some of that sienna, which is my highlight. So all at the same time. So I'm gonna continue this process, and I'm gonna bring you in time to time if there is any change in brush stroke or anything that you must see. But for the majority of times, it's basically the same idea. We're gonna do this and hopefully we can move to the foreground. Still working with the same colors and continuing with filbert brush. We're gonna paint this tree the same way. you're just going to keep in mind that this tree is behind this tree, so and some highlight, some dark for this part. Alright, at this stage, I'm gonna switch to a liner brush and we're gonna go ahead using same colors. Not gonna worry about highlights so much and just, use some umber and some black and just, indicate some individual small limbs and branches here and there, and if you need to highlight some, you will. Like this area, for example, this can get narrowed down to a few branches here and there. Just like so. Continuing with the liner brush, some of these smaller limbs and branches, using black and raw umber. Adding some highlights here and there. And immediately blending it with some of my mid-tone color. Get a soft transition between highlights and mid-tone. Here we go. Some highlight for this part of the tree. And we're gonna go ahead, bring some raw umber and maybe a touch of black for the shadow side and just blend it in. And a bit more for this tree as well. Here we go. Some highlights here and there just to smooth it out. Blend it a bit. I'm going to pick up my fan brush. I'm going to dab into that raw umber. I'm going to open up the bristles and we're going to come here and just tap, indicate few dry, dead, maybe grass and leaves. We're not gonna worry about the base of this so-called grasses and weeds and stuff like that. We're just gonna go ahead, worry about the top and indicate them just like that. Once we apply the snow, we're gonna go ahead and fix it. Just here and there. Maybe even some in the foreground. I'm going to switch to a mop brush, and we're going to go ahead and pick up some ultramarine blue, some white, and we're going to go ahead create the impression of snow on the land. This brush is perfect for to create some fluffy snow on the ground. I'm just going to tap like that, and cover the base of these weeds over here like so. I'm basically gonna create impression of snow. Oh, this is the mid-tone rather for the snow. We're gonna go ahead and highlight it later on. And I'm just gonna, in the distance, I'm just gonna pull and create some soft indication of snow. And for the mid-ground, I'm gonna go ahead and just tap like that in between these bushes. Now we're gonna go ahead and fix these bushes with the liner brush later on. These are just, or weeds, dead weeds, whatever you want to call them. This is just indication that they are there, so. Now with some ultramarine blue, we're gonna create some shadow color for the snow, and we're bringing in on the trunk of this tree as well, just like so. I'm not gonna cover the whole trunk, some areas, maybe this one as well. Maybe some snow has accumulated at the bottom. Here we go. And as a highlighted snow, maybe this snow is catching some light, some lighter value, just like so. The highlighted side, let it break in some areas, like so. And just tap. And just like that, you can create impression of light in your painting. Creating some shadow color for this bush over here, and some highlights for this side. Just by using lighter color and darker color, you can create impression, or illusion rather, of light and stuff like that. Here we go, bringing in some blue here. we're gonna go ahead with the same brush. I'm gonna press my brush against the palette, open up those bristles, and very lightly just tap here and create impression of snow sitting on some of these bushes. Here we go. Some highlights for these things. So the idea of this dead grass is that they are overgrown and they're sticking out of the snow. So we're going to create some highlight here, and we're going to keep the shadow of the tree right here. And of course shadow of this bush. Continuing with the same color, very light blue, some white. Maybe create another bush over here, just like that. And we're gonna create impression of snow here, just by tapping and pulling this brush, and some shadow color for this tree. It's a big tree, so the shadow might travel all the way here, and of course the branches and everything. Some of that blue. Get a nice blend in the distance. Now I'm going to pick up my liner brush. I'm going to pick up some of that raw umber. I'm going to thin it down with some water. And this is where the fun starts. We're going to sit here probably for a few hours and just go ahead, paint this dead grass or weed, whatever, maybe smaller in the distance. I'm just going to go ahead with raw umber now, and probably bring in, for example, raw sienna in some spots, something like that. Let's do a few in the foreground so you can see, just like that. Don't make all of them the same height. Some of them may be shorter. Some of them may be really tall. Maybe a few individual ones over here, just like so. make some of them real tall, some of them real short, you know. That's what makes them interesting. I'm gonna pick up some of that raw sienna, maybe a touch of white. I'm gonna make some highlight color for some of these overgrown weeds. And I'm just gonna come over here, get the excess paint off of my brush, just indicate a few highlights over here. In some areas, maybe some over here as well. With the same brush, some of that white, I'm gonna come up here and just get some highlight on this tree, impression of snow maybe. Soften a few, maybe some here, just tapping. Just like so. Now with the filbert brush and some blue, some white, we can even go ahead and indicate maybe some snow, maybe a still on some of these branches here and there. I think the tree is nice without even adding any snow here and there, but just to maybe indicate maybe few spots still with some snow, like here, and just soften some of that. Just an indication, just like so. Maybe some around here, few spots, so it will look part of the landscape. Maybe some here. And maybe some details in the foreground, like so. I hope you guys had fun watching this video, and I hope you take a few minutes to drop in a few words in the comment section. Let me know what you like about these videos and what you wish to be changed. Do you want them to be longer? Do you want them to be shorter? And what you like for me to paint. Also, don't forget to drop a like if you like these videos. That's how you can support the channel and basically tell YouTube to recommend these videos to more people. And by saying that, I'm gonna go ahead and conclude this video, and I hope you come back for more and keep visiting my channel. And as long as you guys watch, I make more videos. Take care, and I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.